Yeah, act like you know where you at. It's only grown folks allowed Baptist Avenue Church where you only gonna get the real. Whether it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got to get right into it. We got to talk about Trump lifting the TikTok ban, which drove the world crazy. I'm talking about, when I say crazy, I'm talking about we watched probably 85% of the world that was complaining about TikTok be mostly adults that acted in a manner a child would. And it's crazy to see that because we didn't see this many people complaining about not having a job. We didn't see this many females complaining about they dude not coming home and he been gone for 2 days, but because TikTok was finna get banned, that was their main focus. We seen dudes that got $15 in their pocket, rent almost due, and TikTok finna get banned. They cried about TikTok. Nigga, you got a job that pay $5.35 in an atmosphere where inflation is terrible, right? So to the grown people, to the adults, why were we was just too childish, right? Now, I ain't been on TikTok in 2 years. So whether it stays or whether it goes, it really didn't bother me like that. Now, one thing I am going to emphasize is the entrepreneurs on TikTok, because TikTok Shop, it was a lot of people on there doing their thing, selling their brands. They had their thing going through the TikTok Shop. They had their content creating. All the content creators on TikTok that use TikTok as a platform, it became a job for them. I understand, and I understood their frustrations. But we got to talk about all the other millions of people. This wasn't a job. They just wake up, don't wipe sleep out their eye, get on TikTok, scroll, 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 scroll. They only got 100 followers. We watched a lot of adults cry over an app on a phone that could be powered off at any time. And I think this one time showed the world how childish adults can be about all the wrong shit, right? You got the LA fires. Condolences and prayers go out to everybody in the Palisades, right? They lost their houses, everything burnt to a crisp, right? We literally watch people talk about them for 24 hours. I've been watching people talk about TikTok for the last week because they were scared. They didn't know if. Then when we woke up today and last night after midnight, when you got the going on TikTok and it was banned, and you seen that on your phone, it said due to certain situations, this app is no longer usable. People flipped out all day. All I seen was screenshots of what TikTok said in the notifications when you logged into the app, only for it to be restored. So basically, they scared the shit out y'all. This just shows how easy it is to scare the world. We were scared and we complained and we cried and we whined about TikTok no longer being a thing. It was gone for a few hours. They brought it right back. It was like giving the kid a snack. Everybody was happy again. I'm talking about prior to that, people was talking about getting VPNs, relocating their location to another country just so they could still use TikTok. But it's a broke nigga somewhere in dirty socks, laying on a bitch couch somewhere, that's refusing to go get a job, but he's scrolling on TikTok. It's a female that's struggling somewhere, got a whole bunch of kids, behind on bills. The baby daddies ain't helping at all. Phone bill about to get cut off. Food almost gone. Was worried about TikTok, only for it to get lifted. It's crazy to me, right? It should be crazy to you too, because we seen people. I'm not talking about people when you in your 20s, you still like a grown teenager for real. So I expect people in their 20s to whine and cry and complain about TikTok being gone. I understand that. If you're under 30, I understand that. But we seen a lot of 30-plus-year-old people, 40-plus-year-old people, 50-plus-year-old people whine and cry about TikTok. And here comes Trump reviving the day, right? And Trump proposes 50% stake of TikTok for America. TikTok disappeared for its 170 million users in America on Saturday, a day before the shutdown order became effective. The company was shut down through a federal ban after the U.S. cited national security interests. The U.S. government officials warned that the platform exposes its data. So America's data was at risk of being misused. I think that's anytime you get on these platforms, you got to submit certain personal things that you shouldn't have to even access these platforms, but we do. So that's already a risk right there, whether it's any of these platforms. However, the president-elect offered to extend the time frame before the ban takes effect so that America can cut a deal to protect its national security. Trump said that he desires the U.S. to have a 50% ownership position on a joint venture of the fastest growing social app. Trump said he would protect any company that helped TikTok from going dark through an executive order. Trump had earlier promised to give the platform a 90-day reprieve from the ban after he takes office, a promise that the platform cited in a notice posted to users on the app. Now, once again, right? For the ones that was whining and crying, but you voted for Kamala and you didn't vote for Trump, now you probably, this works in your favor, even though you don't like them. It was somebody that you didn't like that lifted the ban on the app that you liked it to use. Now you satisfied, right? And it's been years warning about the ban coming. So to not be prepared, to only depend on one source of income, when you depended on these social platforms, you should not depend solely on. Now, if you sprinkled all over these things and you got so many things going on, then you got multiple sources of income due to the platforms you have and the way you use them to your advantage. Everybody don't use these platforms to their advantage. It's entertainment. For the majority, it's entertainment. It's a small minority that use these platforms in a way where they take advantage of it and it becomes an income that you can live off of. You got people on TikTok that actually bought houses, big houses, big cars, took care of their kids, was able to adjust their life a certain type of way because what they was able to do on TikTok played a part in that, right? So I understand why people panicked. But that brief moment where TikTok was gone, it almost makes me think that we don't, like, it's so easy to make us not pay attention to what we should be. So the bigger picture, we'll never get it because we so threw off by the distractions that we may get. And this was another distraction. Because while that's going on, there's so much other things in the world going on that we're not paying attention to, and we worried about TikTok. So just think about how easy it is to manipulate us into seeing or looking this way when the truth is this way, but they got us so detoured from looking at the truth, we looking at the distraction more than the truth. That's the biggest smoke screen in the world. And look what they're using. They're using a mobile app. Just like y'all thought Cat Williams was, his interview was a distraction, even though he told us the truth. Okay, we watched it all day, but he did tell us a lot of things that end up happening after he said it. So you can call it a distraction, but he was telling the truth. And we later on seen the truth. But we do fall for a lot of distractions that don't have no truth in the end, because the truth be to the right. We looking to the left. We looking at everything the wrong way. So it leads us to be led in a direction where we're not learning anything. We're not really seeing the bigger picture. And this was just another example of that. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but it was just me. This is just my opinion, because I sat back all day for the last 24 to 48 hours, and social media was bugged out from every platform you could think. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. It don't matter, right? We was more worried about this than we is the fact that we may be running out of food in the world. It ain't enough real food to feed all the population that we have. We not worried about that. We not worried that we go to the grocery store and we buy all the wrong things, right? But we worried about an app that they can take away from us just like that. And who's to say if TikTok give up 50% of their ownership to the US, that it won't be censored in a way that you won't have that freedom you used to have, that you've been having on TikTok. You see what I'm saying? They practice taking things that we are, I'm not saying we're obligated to have, but our freedom of speech is the platforms where we can use our freedom of speech are so easily took away. And we don't really look at it like that. We just look at it like they taking our enjoyment away. It ain't just the enjoyment they taking away, nigga. They taking your freedom to do certain things. And the easier they show you that it's that easy to take certain things away from us, and we pout like babies, the more they'll get to doing certain things to us, because they know we will succumb to losing these things, these amenities that we should I call them, right? Because we don't have to have TikTok, but we want it. But I don't knock TikTok, and I don't knock the people that use TikTok. I'm just using, I mean, TikTok was the set example of showing how many grown folks lost hair, was at home arguing in a relationship, wasn't picking up the phone for people, didn't wipe their baby nose, all because TikTok was down for a couple hours. Like, we so out of tune with reality that we almost feel like we can't live without these devices. And I think we need to go back to adapting without having to be so dependent of these devices, because without that, we always gonna have that open space to be able to be in a situation where we complaining like kids about simple things when it's something so much bigger in the world going on that we not paying attention to. TikTok don't matter in, like, unless you're making money off TikTok. In your spare time, you got people talking about that's what I was paying attention at. I was playing with my TikTok at work. So the CEO of the company that's powering these companies, that's paying people to have a job, giving you a paycheck, you basically just putting it out there that nigga, he paying you for nothing, because most of the time, half the time, 2/3 of the time, you on TikTok instead of doing your job correctly. And then you wonder why they replacing y'all asses with robots. We losing touch with reality, man. And like I said, only grown folks allowed. And whether it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, only grown folks allowed. Baptist Avenue Church gonna always give you the actual factual. From my perspective, you can always have your own perspective. Leave it in the comments. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel. It's always room for grown folks conversation. This is a grown folks platform. I just thought it was crazy, because not even my kids personally cried and whined about TikTok being down. But I watched on all my news feeds, on every social media platform, nothing but grown people cry like babies. Because TikTok was on its way out the door. If we complaining and whining and crying about shit like that, what we gonna be doing when shit really hit the fan? Let me know that. Only grown folks allowed. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, man. Stay up to date. Stay grown. Stay focused. Pay attention. It don't cost $1 to pay attention. And don't forget you grown. At the end of the day, we grown adults. We have no room to be acting like kids. Get it together. I'm out of here.